This is the agenda. Welcome everyone to the February planning and zoning special meeting.
Emergency stuff.
On our
Okay.
previous agenda, we had extended a swearing in, but our town clerk is unable to be here tonight, so we're gonna reserve that until next week. I have a regular meeting, a regular public hearing. Right, and the time is 5:33. And I want to start with the pledge. Allegiance. Do I have anybody in the audience who'd like to lead the pledge? Yes, we do. Mr. Peterson, would you like to lead the pledge of allegiance?
Absolutely. I stand and repeat the pledge of allegiance to the United States of America flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And in attendance, we have Lee Ballard, myself, Laurie McCray, and in the audience, this our newest commissioner, Claudia Anderson, who will be listening in this evening.
And a former commissioner.
And a former commissioner, Mr. Kent. All right, so with that, I think we can close the regular meeting. And then have a motion to close the regular meeting, open the public hearing. I move to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay. And we have one item on our public hearing, and has everyone had a chance to look at the CUDP review?
Yes.
I appreciate the thoroughness of it. Yes, thank you. And I already had my question answered, but we have a representative from Rocky Mountain in the audience, is that correct? Would you like to speak to this project? Could you explain this a little to us?
Yeah, I'm not the engineer, but I'm.
Are you not the engineer? Okay. So are the white squares are structures, correct?
Correct, that little square there is the building that would have the equipment inside the building.
Okay, and it looks like most of the lot is going to be some type of gravel. Is that correct?
Most of the
Lot.
lot.
You're not
When you say ground, what do you use?
gravel.
Oh, yes, oh, sorry. Yes, it will be gravel lot. That's correct.
And my understanding is there will be a minimum, I believe, 6 foot block wall.
Minimum, probably higher.
Okay, all right. And does any commissioner, Claudia, if you have a question, and what is your name, sir?
Yes, I'm Tom Heaton.
Tom Heaton.
Yeah, Regional Business Manager for Rocky Mountain Power.
And how long will this take to complete in your estimation?
It'll probably take 12-14 months to complete. Probably depending on how quickly we can get the equipment. Shorter sighted.
And that is the purpose of the substation, mostly to augment what we already.
Yes, I think as you all know, we have maxed our system here throughout this corridor going up to Zion. And in fact, to this point, every new home that's proposed to be built, we have to, our engineer has to approve to make sure we can actually support just even a residential home at this point. So to continue your growth, this is long overdue and needs to be completed.
And is this growth, you're talking about Virgin's growth or the growth in the whole corridor?
This is mostly virgin,
Okay.
but it will stiffen the system, if you will, between here and Springdale and so on to make it more reliable as well.
Okay.
But from a pure power standpoint, yeah, it benefits mostly virgin area.
All right. Does this, we're in public hearing, so, does anyone in the audience, now that we've had a little overview, have, thank you.
I can also tell you that, I know there was some concerns about the lighting. We are aware of that and we'll make sure that all of the lighting in the substation is dark sky compliant and we'll work with the city to make sure you're happy with all the lighting that takes place in the substation, so.
Thank you. Hey, members of the audience, does anyone have any comment on this item on our public hearing?
What can I do? Chuck Matzler, I'm actually representing Virgin Town Business and Landowners Alliance. It's a recent group that's been put together.
Can you repeat that?
Virgin Town Business and Landowners Alliance. And I've got a written statement here, so if I stammer a little bit, I'm not a great public speaker. It says, to be clear, we are not opposed to a new electrical substation in Virgin. We acknowledge that it is a necessary facility to allow for current and future growth. We're not even opposed to the location being proposed for this construction. But this project needs to follow the same approval procedure as any other development in town. In July 2025, the town's administration passed a 4-page document. This ordinance 2025-10, states the purpose, location, and uses for the open space zone. It seems that this ordinance was passed to allow this project to be built in this zone. The problem is that the project does not fit the zone in which it is placed, and I'm going to get to how we hopefully fix that. The ordinance states that the minimum area is 10 acres. The 2 parcels being developed are only 3 acres combined. That's the first point. Second point, in Virgin, Utah, open space generally refers to undeveloped land preserved for its natural, scenic, or agricultural value. It is strictly regulated to prevent building density and protect the area's rural character. This project includes structures and a security wall, which contradicts the definition of open space. So here's where hopefully we can fix that. It would make more sense to create a new public facility zone with specific standards for regulation. You might even consider rezoning the maintenance yard on SR9, the maintenance building on Pocketville, and maybe the new town hall in Heritage Square to this zone. The open space zone was passed as a simple 4-page document governing development. Meanwhile, there are proposed much longer ordinances that severely limit or prohibit the use of privately owned land in other zones. Sensitive lands is 17 pages long. Village overlay is 13 pages long. With our current ordinances already severely limiting what can be built, the business and landowners of Virgin strongly disagree with the need for these ordinances. They should be abandoned. This is a clear example of an applicant being favored by our town government. They are allowed to develop with assistance from our local government, while private landowners are burdened by overregulation, intentional delays, and government overreach in general. In closing, our town has a reputation for being difficult to work with. I have had numerous individuals tell me, I will never do another project in Virgin again. And some people may like that, but I don't. That is a very bad look at our town because it spills over to the town's reputation in general. The town should be attracting projects that will benefit our town instead of repelling those projects. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Shella, can you make sure that scan into the ordinances, just to scan that into our this post where we're coming? Yeah. Thank you. Are there any other comments on this topic from the public? That is the only, if there's no other comments, that's the only item on this evening's public hearing. And so, I would hear a motion to close the public hearing. I would close the public hearing and, open the, public meeting. Special. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. All right. Okay. So, no more questions on that. I have questions about this project. Yeah, I didn't want to ask them to go about here. Okay, because it will be an item for discussion on it. Oh, okay. Um. Unless you, it's more than understand, yeah, it might be different. I'm just wondering how it has been. Deemed to fit in an open space. Yes, it is a conditional use, but the lot size is. The lot size doesn't matter because there's no minimum. There's no minimum to. Submitting it's only for, well. For to have a dwelling. Okay. It is a conditional use. We had an amendment. I don't know if you recall, but the council charged the planning commission to come up with a list of. Allow conditional and prohibited uses. And the utility was a conditional use. And I didn't even know about this project. I didn't know that we knew about this project at that time when that was designed. So it is a listed use. So what? It is a listed use in the version of the. A listed conditional use. Yeah, it's listed as a conditional use. I just pulled up the amendment. That's all. I'm sorry. Yeah, utility easements, essential facilities. Okay. 36.08 conditional uses. Right, and this is the comment. I wanted to make sure that those working on the project get a copy of the most recent driving ordinance, because if you try to find it on the internet, it's just a they have it. Okay, good. All right. So, Larry, were you able to review the other two items? Because I believe you're gonna be remote. Working.
What's the date? Yes.
So I just wanted you, have you had a chance just to? The reason I listed the grading ordinance is just as very thoughts physically here on the changes.
Right, and those are changes that we were all part of now.
You're good with all those changes? Okay. Lee, did you have any other discussion? No, I've read it, that seems. This is gonna be the shortest meeting. So, this ordinance will be on public hearing next week. Okay. And the second item. That I wanted to get your input and thoughts on. Was the one on the proposed governing.
I was reading that as I was walking out the door, so I don't.
Okay, so if you're gonna be there and able to participate in the discussion, make sure you go through it. I know we have some suggestions that probably would fit in a SharePoint, so you can access those as well.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can add on to that, and then we'll be good to go.
I guess I have. But how did, or who wrote this? I guess it was.
Right.
Okay, looked like a record.
Okay,
Very well written.
right.
Madam Chair, would you like me to address that question?
Please.
Yes.
No, sir. Stop.
Thank you, Commissioners. Yes, the shuttle ordinance came about out of a collaborative project among a number of stakeholders in the area related to having large vehicles no longer be able to use Nye and go through tunnel National Park. So the summer, a group of Virgin Springdale representatives, county, UDOT, Suntran, and, Zion, Greater Zion, have been meeting to see how we could facilitate transportation through the corridor. And what we came up with is to allow for a shuttle stop where large vehicles could park and then get on a Suntran shuttle to go to the park and back. Shuttle stops are an allowable use in the code currently. The placement of the shuttle that we came up with was Zion White Bison. They offered to do it. Also looked at the Fairfield Inn property as a possibility. Decided that Zion White Bison was better for a number of reasons. But our current, and I'll add that their CUP includes shuttle stops on their property. So the current code, although it addresses shuttle stops, it doesn't define them. So the mayor and I asked Riker, who's our contracted planner, to draft conditions and a definition of shuttle stops. And under this proposed ordinance, they've been narrowly defined as a government transportation or quasi-government transportation. So we don't have private shuttle stops popping up. And then it puts conditions on shuttle stops in terms of parking and design and safety standards. So under the current code, it's wide open for interpretation. This code narrows it down to regulated. It doesn't necessarily cut out others, but it does help facilitate in a more regulated fashion, having this shuttle stop at Zion White Bison for the Zion corridor. And then I'll mention that Darlene and Lee and I met because there are some concerns that I imagine will be addressed during the hearing. Thank you.
And this doesn't preclude like Stu from having a private shuttle to take his guests from the hotel or the RV park up to Zion and back. You can still do that because they're already parked there at his facility.
Yeah, I mean that, you know, a private shuttle from a hotel or resort, I wouldn't consider a shuttle stop. This is where people are coming in. There's parking and then being shuttled out. So I wouldn't consider that a shuttle stop. And in terms of, let me flesh out the government, quasi-government. So we're talking about Suntran, which of course is a government transportation, or if the town of Virgin, for example, wanted to contract with a private provider, but for public transportation services that would be quasi government.
And would that private contractor, the town of Virgin, be able to use that shuttle stop, or is that shuttle stop strictly for Suntrans, or would they have to have a new location?
Yeah, it would be a new location. I think that an example of, so if the town contracted for services, it would likely be a shuttle to get around town. As opposed to and from other towns or attractions. We haven't talked about that, but this more specific ordinance would allow that to happen in the future.
So read it and, I don't know, you want to go over our concerns?
I mean, I'll just say that I made some edits because my main concern was that, instead of making a park and ride thing a separate use from a shuttle stop, it makes it an accessory to a shuttle stop. Now, I think we would like to allow shuttle stops everywhere, you know, wherever a neighborhood might benefit from it. Once we have a shuttle, everything, you know, but, that doesn't mean we want park and ride lots everywhere, and the way this is written, it would allow that. So I want them to be two separate uses, and so the lot would then be separate use, which they would have to get. Instead of automatically having it along with the shuttle stopping. That's all. I mean, that's not all, that's the main thing that I was worried about.
And then, I also had a concern about it. Since it's mostly serving tourists, and there's that linkage between the parking lot and the shuttle stop. I have a concern of, every shuttle stop will have a parking lot. And I think their value in our higher resort, hopefully some of those people will stay overnight in one of our facilities, you know, or use one of the amenities, either at White Bison. And, maybe eventually at, the Fairville, or what's developed there within walking distance.
Johnny, could you speak closer to the phone?
Yes.
Is it on?
No, it went on.
Oh.
Thank you. I apologize.
Oh.
I turned it up. I don't know. Maybe when I moved it, I hit it again, okay? So that was a concern of mine.
And that it sort of gets in the way of the idea of encouraging people to not bring their car. So if you have shuttle stops in lots of places in town, maybe people will walk to them instead of driving to them, you know, so I think it's better that way.
I know down the road, I would love to see a interlocal system of some sort. So that if I wanted to go to patronize an area across the street, I could do that without risk to my life and without having to go all the way to Zion and back. You know? So there's that to think about. Or I know several times members of the public have brought up the need for some kind of pedestrian walkway, which would be another way to solve the problem. Either under the highway or over. So, and we'll, next week, we'll come with all your questions and, thoughts, and we'll hash this out then, okay?
Okay.
Okay. That's all I have for tonight. Except, the mayor charged us with, doing a follow-up meeting for Charette, talking of the Phil Road. And, Larry, will you be in town on the 19th?
I'll be gone for the next, those 2 weeks.
Okay. And so, I'm inviting all commissioners to that, but since we have this meeting, our regular meeting and hearing, and our work meeting, and then this, it is not, I understand if you can't do all of this, okay?
And that was a short month.
I know, and it's a short month, but due to extenuating circumstances, January was very light.
Yes, that's true.
So I figured it all evens out. Anyway, it's from 5:30 to 7:30. It will be held here, and we'll revisit everything from the first one and see if any ideas or concerns or suggestions have changed, okay? And so I will be inviting all members of the town council to that as well as all members of the community. And people who live or use that Pocketville Road specifically, who live there, they will be getting a mailed invitation as well, okay? So I wanted to put that on your radar. If that's it. Ms. Lee, do you have anything else?
I have nothing else.
Larry, do you have anything else?
Have we meet on the fifth,
Yes,
Commissioner?
yes. So, hopefully we'll have two stories. That's my hope. So. No.
Yeah.
All right, okay. And, do you have anything else that you should know, Mark?
Nothing else to add.
All right, okay, thank you. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. I will to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. And we are in this meeting at 5:58.